Idioms and metaphorical language frequently appear on the GRE. So, for example, an albatross is a bird. It's a sea bird, and it's also considered a bird of bad omen. Now, that's the literal meaning. The literal meaning of the word albatross is it's a bird. The metaphorical meaning, albatross, sighting an albatross, is equivalent to seeing a bad omen. And metaphorically, an albatross also means a handicap, an obstacle, or a burden. An albatross round someone's neck means a big handicap. Well, it occurs in the poem The Rime of the Ancient Mariner, in which an old man had to wear an albatross around his neck as punishment for his sins. So, an albatross is a bird, that's the literal meaning. And metaphorically, albatross means a bad omen. Metaphorically, albatross also means a handicap. Some other idioms and metaphorical expressions. Account for. To account for something means to take into consideration or make adjustments based on. And account for can also mean the cause. Example, you take into consideration or make adjustments on. We have to account for the fact that our politicians will always be late, they will be tardy. So if the function starts at 2 o'clock, it's better to invite the politician at 1 o'clock, and he'll be there on time. That is how you account for, which means you take into consideration and make adjustment based on certain facts. Another example can be, uh, well, all the players of the team did well, but Dhoni's captaincy accounted for the team's victory, which means caused. So, account for has two meanings. Take into consideration, another meaning is cause. A given. A given means something that is taken for granted, something assumed, or one that does not require proof. For example, it is a given that he will definitely come late. All but, almost definitely. The bill's passage is all but assured, means that the bill will almost certainly pass. Your objections have arrived too late. The matter is all but decided, which all but means almost definitely. At best means at the most. At best means at the most. He is qualified to teach English at best. That means at the most, nothing more than that. At loggerheads. At loggerheads means in conflict, at a standstill or in a state of conflict. They have been at loggerheads for several months. That means the management and the trade union representatives are at loggerheads for several months. That means they are in conflict. At odds means in conflict. Brook means tolerate. I will not brook any carelessness. That means I will not tolerate any carelessness. Brook means to tolerate. Of course, used as a noun, the word brook means a stream. Like a river is much bigger than a brook. A brook and a creek, Creek. Creek is also a stream which is slightly bigger than a brook, and the river is much bigger than both. Colored by. Colored by means influenced or prejudiced by. To be colored by means to be influenced or prejudiced by. To curry favor. Curry favor. Curry favor means to behave in a sycophantic manner, using flattery, unctuous behavior. Unctuous. A toady, Toady, a sycophant, Sycophant, grovel, Grovel, groveling, ingratiating, Ingratiate, to ingratiate oneself. The word ingratiate can be used both positively and negatively. Ingratiating behavior means in the context, so you have to supply other words. Um, Ingratiate can mean sycophantic. Ingratiating can also mean capable of, finding favor with the pleasing behavior, good manners. So, curry favor means to gain favor through flattery, to try to gain favor from a superior, from someone powerful like a boss, to gain favor, try to gain favor through flattery and obsequious behavior. Obsequious means servile, sequentious. Servile, sequentious, obsequious means slavish behavior, using a lot of flattery. To cut bait, CUTBAIT, give up, abandon an activity. After struggling for nearly a year, he cut bait and decided to get back into his old business. After struggling for a year in the new venture, he cut bait and decided to get back to his old business. Cut bait is an unusual idiom which means to give up, eschew, abandon an activity. Diligence. Next one. Due diligence means research or analysis done before taking an action. Due diligence means the required care that a reasonable person would take to prevent harm to others. That is due diligence. Due diligence. Diligence means hard work. A diligent person is one who works hard, who applies his mind, who is industrious, shows application, is sedulous, sedulous. Diligent means hardworking. A mnemonic can be ఢిల్లీలో జెంట్స్ అందరూ చాలా హార్డ్ వర్క్ చేస్తున్నారు. Diligent, hardworking. Due diligence, that means reasonable care to prevent harm or sufficient research and analysis. Unmass, ENMASSE. En masse means in a group. En masse. To go en masse means in a group. Entry, ENTREE. Admittance or permission to enter. Entree is a French word which actually, in a very loose sense, it can mean the main dish. Entree. Actually, it was supposed to be an appetizer, a dish that leads to the main course. The related word is enter. So, entree, that's the French pronunciation. Entry is, entry would mean admittance or permission to enter. Full throttle, going full throttle. They are going full throttle, THROTTLE, with much speed and energy. Garden variety. The garden variety means ordinary, common, mediocre. Mediocre means average. So garden variety means ordinary, common. To gloss over, GLOSS over. Gloss over, paper over, whitewash. All these are expressions for covering up a problem, insult, etc., rather than addressing it or fixing it. So glossing over means to treat something very lightly or try to cover up for some wrongdoing. The government has been accused of trying to whitewash the scam or to gloss over the serious scandal. So gloss over, whitewash means to covering up, trying to cover up. Go down the tubes means become much worse, fail, totally fail. Go down the tubes, become much worse or fail. This expression is about the plumbing attached to toilets. So going down the tubes means become really bad. Hand wringing, HANDWRINGING. Hand wringing means an excessive expression of concern, guilt, or distress. And there's a lot of hand wringing. And that means people are making a big scene, showing too much concern, and throwing a furore, 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 and creating a hubbub, raising a big hue and cry. Hand wringing is an excessive expression of concern, guilt, or distress. Hold the line. To hold the line means to keep something the same. To hold the line means to keep something the same. To toe the line, TOE, towing the line, means to conform to a policy or way of thinking, or to simply follow the rules. To toe the line means to conform. On par with. On par with means equal or equivalent to. The opening salvo, SALVO. A salvo is a simultaneous discharge of gunfire or release of bombs. Volley, VOLLEY. Volley is a synonym for salvo. Salvo means a simultaneous discharge of gunfire or releasing bombs. So, salvo synonyms are volley, VOLLEY, fusillade, FUSILLADE, cannonade, CANNODE, cannonade, cannonade, NADE. So cannonade, salvo, fusillade, volley all mean a continuous shower of bullets, continuous discharge of gunfire. Opening salvo. An opening salvo metaphorically means something that starts a fight. Outside of the home. Example, working outside of the home means having a regular job, such as in an office. However, working out of your home is actually working at home. Working out of your home. He is working out of his home. Working out of your home actually means working at home. Working outside of the home means having a regular job, such as in an office. Per se, PERSE. Per se means by itself or in itself. X per se is not bad, but along with Y, it is dangerous. That means X danantata adi cheddadani kadu. X per se, PERSE, by itself. Press for, PRESSFOR, argue in favor of. Press for. Press for means to argue in favor of. The politicians pressed for greater freedom with the funds at their disposal. We pressed for greater regulation of the behavior of XYZ. So, pressing for means to argue in favor of. Rabid. Rabies. Rabies is a disease that some wild animals, dogs and wolves and jackals, etc., contract, and it causes the animal to become insane and violent. So, rabid literally means having that disease. Metaphorically, rabid means very zealous, excessively over enthusiastic, fanatically passionate, angrily passionate. So, one of the symptoms of rabies is foaming at the mouth. Now, foaming at the mouth is literally foaming at the mouth. That is because of the disease. But foaming at the mouth metaphorically means extremely violently angry. Rabid fanatics. Rabid fanatics are extremely passionate and extremely zealous and violent. That is rabid fanatics. Red herring. REDHERRING. A red herring means something that distracts. Something that distracts us from the real issue is a red herring. Actually, herring is the name of a fish. Anyway, one theory how this expression arose is thieves, sometimes burglars, to mislead the police dogs, they used to leave a few smelly fish, herrings. Sometimes thieves also use pepper powder, strong smelling substances to prevent the bloodhounds from tracing them out. So the hound gets distracted. So a red herring means something that distracts us from the real issue. Now the next word is ridden, hyphen RIDDEN. Corruption ridden, caste ridden, race ridden, disease ridden, poverty ridden, RIDDEN, dominated, burdened, or afflicted by. Example, corruption ridden bureaucracy. That means dominated, burdened, or full of, rampant, rife. So, dash ridden, you can use this word it is always used in a negative sense, by the way. Save. Now, the word save, all we know, save means to keep safe, store up, or set aside. But save also means but or except. All these ideas are sensible, save the other one which you told me. Accept that. Save means accept. School of thought. A school of thought means a philosophy, an ideology, a way of looking at things, or a group of people with similar beliefs or perspectives. To sound the depths. To sound the depths. SOUND sound. The DEPTHS. To sound the depths means to explore, investigate, or look into something really deeply. Well, the metaphor is based on the idea of a sounding line, which is a rope with a weight on the bottom that you can drop to the ocean floor to see how deep the ocean is. So, to sound the depths means to investigate deeply, to sound the depths. Steeped in, steeped in superstition. Steeped means fully immersed, saturated. You steep a tea bag in hot water. You steep your clothes in water with a little surf added to that. Steeping, steeped in religion. That means soaked. That means fully immersed, saturated. Stem from. My confidence stems from my preparation. That means grow out of, be caused by. Stem from means originate. My confidence stems from my communication skills. Stem can have another meaning. The government is trying to stem the corruption in the bureaucracy. Reduce, prevent, stop, check. To hold sway over, SWAY, sway means influence. Sway also means to move from side to side, that you already know. To hold sway, sway means domination or influence, a powerful dominating influence is a sway. Will India hold its sway in the next, in the World Cup? That means, will it be able to dominate all the other teams and come out a winner? Table. In American English, table means to postpone the discussion of something. Table means to postpone. In British English, to table is just the opposite, to submit for consideration. So, this is an important word for us to remember. In American English, tabling means postponing, and in British English, tabling means putting it up for consideration. And by the way, a table is postpone in American English. So the opposite for postpone is advance, ADVANCE, and not prepone. Prepone is an Indianism, which means a word we Indians have created because it makes sense. The opposite of post should be pre. But English is a weird language with all kinds of ridiculous rules, probably the worst language on the planet. You have silly rules like letters are silent sometimes, and you have absolutely no link between the spelling and the pronunciation, and all kinds of contrary rules. Root words will tell you that this is the meaning of the root, and then you will find so many exceptions that you will be wondering what is the use of knowing these root words. So, English, my dear friends, is one of the worst languages. We should have thrown this language out along with the Englishman in 1947. We made that mistake and we are paying for it now. Anyway, cut out the philosophy. So, table means postpone in America. Opposite should be advance. In America, use the word advance if you want to convey the meaning prepone. In India, if you use the word advance, people will think that you are further postponing it. So take care. Take umbrage. Please do not take umbrage at my words. Means please don't get offended. UMBRAGE. To take umbrage, to take exception to. To take exception to or to take umbrage means feel offended. Trappings. TRAPPINGS. Trapping sense trappings, all the trappings of a magician, all the trappings of a successful businessman. That means accessories. We use the word Telugulo, saranjama, paraphernalia, the kit, all the. In fact, trappings also means the ornaments. Uh, Pakistan has only trappings of democracy. Otherwise, it's basically a failed state. So, trappings of democracy. That means only ornaments of democracy. They're pretending that it is. So, trappings means accessories. All the characteristic tools and items and products that are associated with something. The trappings of a successful person would mean having a high end car, wearing a costly suit, and carrying an Apple tab, and blah blah blah. Vanguard, VANGUARD, and avant-garde, AVANT hyphen GARD. Now, avant, the T is silent. Avant-garde. Avant hyphen GARDE. It is avant-garde. Avant-garde means the latest fashion. Vanguard. Vanguard means leading the soldiers at the front of the army. In the vanguard. Actually, armies usually have a van in front. So that is the vanguard. So avant-garde fashion means the latest. Vanguard is derived from avant-garde. For example, on the vanguard of automobile technology, that means right in the forefront. Uh, he arrived in a dress that was a little avant-garde for the otherwise conservative group of people, otherwise conservative club. That means he was wearing an avant-garde dress. That means it was of the latest fashion. Avant-garde fashions are latest. Avant-garde technology is the latest. Wanting. Wanting means lacking, insufficient, not good enough. I found this book, this encyclopedia, wanting, which means this encyclopedia is lacking in something. It's not good enough. It's insufficient. Wanting. Uh, for example, other examples is uh, for want of X, Y was lost. That means X was not there, and because of that, Y was lost. Also, want of. It is not because of a want of uh, preparation, but due to something else that we failed. That means it's not because of a want of preparation. That means it's not because of a lack of preparation. Want means lack. Want means lacking. Wanting means lacking. With a grain of salt. With a grain of salt means with skepticism. With a certain amount of skepticism. Not accepting it totally. With a grain of salt. Wreak havoc. WREAK. Wreak havoc. HAVOC means to cause destruction. To wreak havoc means to cause great destruction. The past tense of wreak is wrought. WROUGHT. So, anyway, wreak havoc is a metaphorical, or you can call it a phrasal verb. So, metaphorically or idiomatically, wreak havoc means to cause destruction. Like X wreaked havoc on the bowling. That means he ripped the bowlers apart.